Yo. What is up? What's up, beautiful people? How are you all doing? I was going to try and get real fancy and go live on Instagram at the same time, but yeah, I'm not that techie, I suppose. It's going to make sure everything's working, but excited to jam today. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 Ds of quietly steal your alignment and abundance. And let's make sure all my links work. Turn that off. If you are here and you can hear me and you can see me, drop a comment in the comments. Let me know. Sure. Sound is on. All is well. Looks like we're good. Yeah, so today is kind of a cool day. We're going to be dropping some big stuff in our paid community. And actually, underneath this video, there's a link. We have a 7-day free trial inside our community. And we're about to go on a 60-day adventure of building a mini brand. And I bring this up because, today's conversation is really about removing these 4 Ds so that the most full expression can come forward. And when you're growing your business online, there is the business stuff, and then there is you and the operator. And today's conversation is really all about you. And it's about how to become the 10.0 version of you. And it's not going to be the normal stuff of like set goals, push yourself, hustle harder. It's almost the exact opposite. And it's going to be a removal of things. And I think that a lot of people try to move forward before first creating the space and creating the clarity and creating the channel in order for your highest self to be expressed. And so I'm going to share some stories, a couple ideas, some practical steps, some questions to help you with this. Might draw some pictures. I think it'll be fun. So, pull this up. Let's talk about it. First of all, how you doing? This is a new thing, a relatively new thing for me, going live on the YouTube. We used to do these, the evolution of this, of the Profit Portal, was showing up every week in my community to talk about A Course in Miracles, and just feeling the pull to expand that conversation, to be able to talk about money, marketing, mindset, manifestation, a broader topic scope. And so every week I'm going to come in here and be sharing some ideas, some insights to hopefully help you turn some of these insights into income. And ultimately to create more freedom and fulfillment and fun in your life. So that is the vibe here. That's what we're up to. Yo, what's up, Jessica? Amazing. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Yeah. And also I am totally learning. I am, I'm learning. So bear with me. I think it'll be fun though. Yeah, A Course in Miracles is a foundational, I would say, like the underlying pin of everything that I'm going to talk about, because there is underlying foundational beliefs that influence everything above. And one of them being, I'll probably reference this maybe every time I go live here, but because it's a constant mantra and reminder for me that nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists, and herein lies the peace of God. And this is like on repeat in my mind because life is kind of crazy. The mind is kind of crazy. But there's so much peace and in knowing that all of the stories, that all of the way things occur, that all of the fear, that all of the everything is the illusion. And underneath that is a deeper truth of love and connection and oneness and an ability to connect with something way greater than ourselves. And when I say an illusion, sometimes that triggers people, or like people are unsure what I mean by that. It's just like, it's a projection of your own mind. I think it's hilarious how I was listening to this story. I think it was maybe a reel, but there was this guy, and he was talking about like in a court of law, there was basically a purse snatcher. And they had 30 eyewitness accounts who all shared like, this is what happened. And all 30 of them had a different experience of what happened. And if you just like imagine that, right? Like something as simple as like, oh, they tried to steal the purse. And yet there was like 30 different eyewitnesses who all offered something different and unique into like, well, here's what happened. So, anyways, with that, maybe I'm just, that's a disclaimer that I'm here just sharing my experience. I'm sharing the lessons, the tools, the insights that I have gained over the years in hopes that some of them might be useful for you. And again, like these insights might turn into income and more freedom for you. So that's the vibe. That's what we're up to. I'm going to pull up a couple things. And let's have a conversation about these 4Ds. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. So if you're here or you're watching or it's a replay, I would love to know, like, what's a goal that you have? What is a goal? What's something that you are, moving towards? Here you are. You're like, I would like this. I want to have this conversation and have it be relevant for you. So I have found that one of the best ways to create the kind of freedom or the, go after your goals, most goals, not all, but most of them require some money. And being able to become self-reliant in your ability to earn an income is an amazing level of freedom. Yeah. And then if you'd like to have more freedom, there's like something to think about there is like no amount of money will give you that. We think that, if I just had $20,000 a month, it's like, because it's not the money solves the money problems, but the sense of feeling is something that you don't necessarily need money for. But if you're like, well, I know that this amount of money would have me be more free because I could live more fully, I could do the things that I want to do, like what's that number? Right? 10K months. Oh, that's a good question. This chat is live, yeah. Searchable? I don't know. I'm new here. But I would say, don't share anything that, share your, if you want to share the maybe more personal stuff, do that inside of our community because that's secured. YouTube is probably, who knows? This is the Wild West over here. So, here we are. I want to go somewhere, and building the business is the vehicle for most of us that will help us get to where we want to go. And when we're building the business, there is two parts. There's you, and then there's the biz. And for the biz, usually what happens in the beginning, you are just doing all the things. Like you got to let it rip. You got to learn. You got to find an offer that works. It's a lot. Like going from 0 to 10 is the hardest part of the journey. Not that the other parts aren't hard, but you don't typically have as much capacity, resources, and clarity. And so that's what makes it hard. But as you're growing, over time, like in the beginning, you're kind of just doing everything. But the thing that makes the actual business work is simplifying it. And recognizing that the more simple, like you as the operator running the business, your business is only going to ever work to the degree of your own clarity, your own confidence, your own value that you're bringing, the level of problem that you're solving in the marketplace. And so the most important work, arguably, that you could do is simply becoming the 10.0 version of you. It's funny, every time my business has ever been in a slump, I know exactly where to go, and it's not my funnel. I will pull out a piece of paper and I will look at where am I out of integrity. I will look at, am I taking care of myself in the way that I know I need to? And every time I then take action on me and doing the things I know that have me operate at the highest level, my business miraculously turns around. Opportunities show up, sales come in, and it doesn't take that long. It's not like a mystery, but knowing which things to focus on is kind of what I want to talk about today. So the 4 things, and I'll always start with these, the 4 Ds that are stealing your abundance and alignment. So, first up, this all tracking. Guys, it's making sense. Can you hear me? I got some new people coming in. Welcome. And I'm going to... So the first thing that we're going to talk about is disease. When you're healthy, you can have 1 million goals. And when you're not healthy, you have 1. And your body is incredibly wise. Your body has immense wisdom, and it's speaking to you all the time. My 2 daughters, one of them just learned how to ride a bike, who's 6, and the other one is 2 and thinks that she can ride a bike. And they both had good bales this week and scraped up their knees real good. And in less than a week, it's scabbed, it's healed, and the body's healed. And we always say that in our family. It's like, yep, that's okay. Like the body heals. And it does. And it's amazing. What an amazing, miraculous system. And it will also heal to the degree we spend a lot of money on the food that we eat and the things around our house, the water system, the products, and this is my wife. I'm the benefactor. She is the brilliant one. But we've set up our environment in such a way where we are eating high quality food, high quality supplements. Um, we use products, hair products, and um, toothpastes, and uh, even sheets that are all natural and don't contribute to the toxins that are like plaguing most of our world. And so we do have like, and then we have our bodies, right? And our bodies are giving us reference points. And it's kind of like, like your car. Your car has a dashboard, and then little lights go on, like your tire is flat, or, change the oil, or, your engine is going to explode. And so your body is kind of like that dashboard that's giving you internal clues about like, what's going on? Do you feel bloated? Is there inflammation? Is there like, what's going on with your body? And maybe even just right now, let's just do a little experiment. Just like, I invite you to close your eyes and just get present here. And just like, let's do 2 breaths. Relax your shoulders. Just like get into your body. Breathe all the way out. All the way in through your nose. Relax your shoulder, relax your jaw. Just come into this moment right here. And let's just do a very slow body scan, starting at the toe, breathing naturally, breathing normally, and just bring the scan up your toe, your ankle, up to your knees, just noticing for maybe any stiffness, achiness, stuckness, inflammation, pain. Keep coming up through your thighs, pelvic area, solar plexus, armpits, on your hands, just scanning every part of your body, your lungs, your shoulders, your throat, eyes, your head. Is there anywhere as you go through that scan that your body is like, hey, pay attention to me? I can tell you what mine is. I have this little patch of eczema on my thumb. And it's like, what's going on? What is that? It's been here for a while, and I'm deep in the rabbit hole. But it's like, I ignored it for a while, and then nothing happened. Also, I had a pain in my shoulder. What's that about? Oh, well, through more reflection, I can see how I've been shouldering my way through life. I've been shouldering stuff that wasn't mine, right? So the body is here incredibly wise. And when we can tune into the body and we can remove the toxins from our life, we can connect more greatly to the infinite intelligence that exists. Not AI. I'm talking about our intuitive, innate wisdom. Does that make sense? So a practical step is literally just like taking a couple moments to tune in and asking yourself, like, what am I feeling? How is my body doing? What are the symptoms that I have? And I promise you, as you do work to clear out diseases or illnesses or just like things that are going on in your body, you are going to have more capacity, more genius, more thoughts, more clarity, more movement, more action. That makes sense? Do you see how if you did that, you would have, like, that would make a big difference towards your alignment and your abundance? Okay, so the next thing, if disease is of the body, the next one is distortions. Now, distortions, so diseases in the body, and distortions are of the mind. We all have them, especially in today's world. I think of Instagram. You scroll through Instagram, and it used to just be an app where you would take your pictures and you would upload it, and that was it. And then they've added, then you could do filters, and that was interesting, right? And then the filters just kind of kept expanding, and then AI comes on the scene, and now it's like you could be whatever you want. But these filters are filters. I mean, they are, a lot of these filters are not ours. I've heard them described as like mimetic viruses of the mind. And most of these have been given to us and programmed into us through our childhood, our parents, your culture, where you came from, the times that you grew up in. Like I was like MTV times. There's like stuff in there, stuff in my mind from that time. Then there is, and when I say a mimetic virus, there's kind of like a societal, like we all agree that this is the way things are. Like it's kind of interesting to me. The only reason the financial system works is because everybody has agreed on some level that this is what it is. Like there's an agreement that's nothing more than, because the financial system is kind of, it's all just debt and ones and zeros. I'm not going to go into that right this second, but there are distortions that we have in our field, in our way of looking at life that shape everything that we see. And if we're unaware of what these distortions are, then, what is that Carl Jung quote? It's like, we will, what is it? It's like, we can do this, right? Carl Jung quote, call it fate. It's like, until the unconscious is made conscious. Yeah. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So a lot of these ideas are just sitting there in the unconscious, totally unconscious. And then we walk around and think that, oh yeah, that's just fate. Not recognizing that you could have transformed that and you're actually just projecting your own unconscious onto the screen, onto the blank canvas that is your life. So it's your responsibility to look at and to find all of the distortions that are producing the results that you're getting in your life right now. So a practical step that you could do with this is you could make a list, the borrowed list. And this is just the body scan. A daily body scan, go a long way. The borrowed belief list. What are the beliefs that you have about money? I got to work hard for money. Is that one? Rich people are bad, greedy, something like that. What are your beliefs about sales? Before I shifted the belief that sales is one of the highest value things that I could do, I struggled to make sales. But when I recognized how much of a service sales is to people, I can't not sell. Otherwise, I just leave people stuck. But that's a belief. And I can tell you, like, I know exactly when the limiting belief about sales entered my mind. And so you got to do this kind of work, right? You got to look at, well, where does that distortion come from? Why do I believe that? When I was very first in the game, just make sure I'm still with me, live. Yeah. All right, cool. Little story time. So my very first, I was $500,000 in debt. I went into the bank so much to not go bankrupt. They gave me a job. I was a traveling insurance salesman. And I remember I had like a full suit on, and I had a briefcase, with like some insurance documents in there, just so classy. I don't think I had the elbow pads on the suit, but like I'm imagining that I did, kind of like that 80s, 90s insurance salesman or used car salesman. Like I felt like that completely, because I was like, oh God, what am I doing? I'm going to go sell some insurance today. And I remember I was sitting on the bus because I was traveling, meeting my mentor. I hopped on I had to go to Victoria. So anyways, I hop on this bus, and I'm sitting there with my briefcase, and this guy sits beside me, and he's like, oh, how are you doing? Why are you all dressed up? What do you do? And I was like, oh, I sell insurance. And then his look on his face, and he's like, oh God, good luck with that. That's got to be the worst job. Before he said that, I didn't think so. I thought it was great. I thought the people that I was working with was awesome. But he just planted that seed. And I could see when I said that I sell insurance, his response to me was like, oh. And then I just took that on. I was like, oh, I'm doing something bad or slimy. So that was a distortion. Not true. There is a handful of clients that I had who I'm really grateful that I sold them insurance. They needed it. They had cancer. They've died. If I didn't have conversations with them, they would have left their family completely destroyed. It's a good thing I got over myself. Good thing I checked in with my borrowed belief list, right? So what's yours? What are your beliefs that you've just accepted as true that don't need to be? Number 3. Distractions. I really think that this is probably the most important thing. The most important skill that you can develop in 2025. Because if you think about it, you have like AI is crazy, right? Like, are you guys playing with AI like I am? It's blown my mind. Short detour. I have been building a second brain for the last 3 months, and this has transformed my entire life. Because my thinking has now become externalized and has a sparring partner, and I can see it. And so the level of organization that I have in my documents and in my second brain is influencing and organizing the thoughts within my mind and allowing me to like create and produce and synthesize at a rate that is like phenomenal. And I just feel really clear. And that's a function of getting clear on my thoughts. And I think of like just even my progression of how I'm using AI or understanding AI, where I used to think of AI as a tool that I would just use, but now I'm really seeing like, oh wow, like AI is changing me, which is interesting. I had this thought the other day that, like when there was just the reptilian brain, and then at some point there was like the frontal cortex that comes online, and then we could have creative thought. And then there is now, like with AI, it's kind of like an externalized next part of the brain. Anyways, it's just a thought, but it's like amazing, remarkable. And one of the challenges with AI is like now the ideas are infinite, right? So now the possibilities are infinite. What you spend your time on is like so important. And it's so easy to get distracted because like, oh, there's that idea and this idea and da, 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 da. And so if you're one of the few who can cut the distractions out of your life and identify them and then cut them out, whether that be like, maybe it's a vice, right? On one level, it could be like habits that are just habitually distractions. Maybe it's drinking, smoking, thrift shopping, doom scrolling, Netflix, like whatever. The things that you know that maybe you have some shame around, maybe not, doesn't have to, but that you know is out of alignment with the version of yourself that is required in order to get the goal. That you know on some level, you're like, that version of me doesn't do this. Those gotta go. So there's the distractions, right? What are the distractions that show up in your life that prevent you from being the 10.0 version of you? I have a couple little tools that help me. One of them is knowing my best sleep pattern. So for me, going to bed at 9, even 8 sometimes, but usually between 8 and 10, so that I can get up at 4 and have 3, sometimes 4 hours of uninterrupted deep flow work. I do my best work in the morning. I'm most focused in the morning. And my wife is the total opposite. She does her best work at night, right? So she's kind of like the night owl between 10 to 2. But it's like knowing your season of life that you're in, and then when your best kind of time to optimize your time is, where you can get into those deep flow states. And then this little tool is something that I find helpful, is I will put all of the tasks that I have to do in the day, and then I will give myself like little time, like how much time do I want to give myself to complete the task. And something about just having you're like, oh, what is this, Dan? It is a little timer. So I can change it. And I'm like, I think this task will take, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, boom, go. And then I'll also usually take a sticky note and I'll just write down the one thing that I'm focused on and put it on the computer. And then something about that seems to be helpful for me. Yesterday I did it with an ad. I'm like, I'm going to do this in 30 minutes. I often underestimate how long something's going to take. It's like, it'd be nice. It took me an hour and 10. And I got distracted, but it was like but just like doing that, putting the one focal point and then putting a timer on it, I find helps me to eliminate the distractions. So when it comes to the distractions, 2 things, 2 maybe like practical steps or things that you could do is doing something like that, like having a timer, having a single focus, and just like doing the thing. And then the other thing is looking at your life and looking at the distractions that are maybe habitual or, that are not in alignment with your highest self, the version of you that is required in order to get the goal. And biting the bullet to just do things differently. I had been slacking, and I kind of, or not even slacking, almost like I planned for it. But it was like we had our retreat in Mexico. I got a little loose, but I had made a decision that like when I come back, I was going to do a full cleanse. So like a 14-day cleanse. Nothing crazy. The first 3 days were hard, and it was like no coffee and grapefruit, and that's it. And then I, can add eggs and some other things. And it's a protocol that I follow that works really well with my body. You might have a different one, but it always sucks the first 3 days. We're like, shit, I don't want to give up coffee. I love coffee. I don't want to give up cream. I love cream. Cream, it was dairy for 14 days. Coffee, so it was black coffee after day 3. Sucks. But you know what happens as you do that and you experience yourself as doing the thing that you said you're going to do, you gain power. You gain respect for yourself. And it changes everything. So that's just an example of something that I did around distractions that maybe is helpful. Cool. Y'all still following? And number 4, numero 4, is debts. The debts these debts can be either like financial debts or they can be energetic and relational debts. But you likely have them, especially since the entire financial system is set up that way. So it's very rare when I meet people who have no debt, and certainly have no financial debt and no energetic debts. I have yet to meet somebody with that. But if you don't clear this stuff out, then it's basically like trying to run your computer with 900. The level of debt that you have is like a weight that just is there. Like if you had a backpack and you're just slowly but surely continually filling it with more debts, which are like little rocks in your backpack, eventually it just gets so heavy and weighs you completely down. And so being able to come up with a plan, first of all, to pay off your debts, like that alone is huge. Even when I had so much debt, $500,000 of debt, not nearly enough money to even pay the bills, the thing that allowed me to, over time, was I made agreements with all of my debts and my debtors. And I said, look, here's what it is. Here's what I can afford to pay. And I'd like to pay this off. I'm committed to paying it off. And this is my plan for doing that. Never once did somebody be like, no, that doesn't work. They're like, okay, like most people are reasonable. And the minute I did that, and then I honored my word with the payments, is I had integrity with the debt. So the debt might not be gone, but I had power around it. And that's the same with relational debts. Maybe there's a conversation that you need to have that you haven't had yet. If you haven't had it, it probably feels heavy. It probably weighs on you, and it probably is like having 900 programs running on your computer while you're trying to do a thing. It's just way slower. So a practical step is literally just doing like maybe what I did was like an integrity inventory. And I mean looking at everything. As I said this, I'm like, oh shit, I found one. And you'll find these. Where was it? Yep. It's on my desk. Ripped up and ignored. You know what this is? Damn parking ticket. All right. I'm going to pay this today. Damn. Hate these parking tickets. But I know it's been here, and I've been ignoring it so much that it just has been ripped. I got to take care of that. I got to take care of that today. So, what are like the little things like that? Because all of those things are impacting your field, your energy, who you are, how you show up, the speed at which you can get things done. And so before you start going to set more goals for yourself and be like, I'm going to force my way to success, I think you got to start here and look at what is my relationship with these 4 Ds? How can I clear and create space for my highest, most authentic, most vibrant, alive version of myself to come through? And the way that I see this, and like in my own experience, is as I commit and focus on these as a practice, the more debt I pay off, the more I heal my body, the more I eliminate distractions from my life, and the more I invest in self-reflection and therapy and ceremonies to remove the mental distortions of my mind, the cleaner my connection is to the infinite intelligence and God. And so I think we live in a really cool time where AI is like right here and super amazing, and you can tap in and have conversations with it. But there's a way more infinitely powerful wisdom within the intuitive, innate essence of your soul, of your being. I think AI is maybe even a reflection of that to some extent. But in order to connect to that miraculous perception of love and energetic frequency of love and authenticity, these are the things that I have found to be in the way. And so as I remove these, my connection becomes stronger, my trust, my confidence in that connection becomes stronger. I have a more clear voice. I'm able to show up in a way that I'm proud of. I'm able to make an impact. I'm able to surrender my own shit to become a vehicle, to become a lighthouse, to become a messenger of light and truth. So this is kind of important shit, you know? So these are some of the, this is what I wanted to share today. The 4 Ds that are sabotaging your alignment and your abundance. And before I kind of close out, would love to know if you're watching live or you're watching a replay. What'd you catch? What'd you like? What'd you learn? What's a takeaway? What's something that you like gleaned from this little conversation and moment in time when we got to hang out together that you could implement and use? What's one action that you might take? What's an insight that you got? Coming back to the main point of these talks is the profit portal, turning insights into income, but the income doesn't happen without the action. So let me know. Drop it in the chat. We'll wrap up today's call. I'll be back next week. The profit portal. I'm just seeing some of these comments here. What's up, Jazzy? Good to see you. Jazzy from Enlifted. Yo. Hilarious. Good to see you both. All right, homies. I hope you have a wonderful week and day. I'm excited because today we are dropping into a 60-day mini brand challenge. If you are not in our paid community and you want to, this is part of the conversation. You know, this is what does it mean to have a personal brand? I'm not talking about becoming Kardashian. I'm talking about becoming a fuller, more self-expressed version of you. And that's what we're going to be diving in our community. I think the link's under here. We got a 7-day free trial. And thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out. 444.